Why are you certain that there is someone who made this table when you've not seen the maker of this table, this specific one?
Because it's probably a manufacturer, right?
Why do you say that? Does it because it has design, has language?
I checked, they're probably very good.
No, but I mean, why do you assume without checking?
Because like all tables are manufactured.
Why? Because they require design. So they require you to bring material together, to have knowledge of language, to bring plastic and metal and wood together, which cannot happen by itself, right? If I said to you that it's just a storm and the storm made the table, you're not going to believe me, would you? Right? I wouldn't believe myself too, you know? So what we're saying as Muslims is this: when you see something that has signs of design, you infer the designer. You do not need to see the designer yourself. For example, the pyramids. You believe someone made the pyramids, right? You cannot see the makers of the pyramids because you don't know who made it, right? But we still believe there is a maker based on the design that we see on the pyramids, right?
Yeah, that's because they're complicated.
Excellent.
On how to make a table from IKEA, I can probably do it.
Let me use your own words. It's complicated or complex, right? Which one is more complex, the table or you? You or the universe? So if this simple table by necessity requires a maker, if this simple table by necessity has a maker, can you and the universe come into existence without a maker? Using the same analogy?
Saying that God is the maker, right?
I'm saying that if something is so complex, like the universe, like if something simple like this requires intelligence, requires knowledge of language, requires to bring complex material together, the universe will require something far more intelligent, wise, and powerful. Would you agree with me? So this is what we say, right? So when you say you're not sure, that's what we say. We say when you look at the universe, the alteration between the day and the night, you see the rain coming from the sky, right? The same water goes in the tree. This tree gives you different fruits. It's the same water, but the fruits come out, different fruits, different colors, different nutritional values, right? You want to say something, I think? Yes, go ahead.
So
Yeah.
could you not say that like all of this could be explained with science, like what scientists know? I'm not trying to like.
No, it's okay. I want you to ask questions. I want you to engage. What is science?
I'm not good at science. I'm just asking.
No problem. I'll answer you.
You know how like the weather can be explained because of like pressure.
Excellent. I know what you're saying. Let me explain to you. Science is the study of the physical world, natural world, through experimentation. You make experiments. Repeatability, you repeat the experiment. And falsification. So either you falsify the theory or you keep the theory for now based on the data that you have. This is what science is. Yeah? That same science is developed by a Muslim. The method you're using today was developed by a Muslim called Al-Hasan ibn al-Haytham in Andalusia in Spain. Now, science explains something which already in existence. For example, if your auntie bakes a cake, okay? Science can explain how the cake was baked, how much sugar, how much salt, how much. But science itself is not a human being that will bring the material together of the cake. You will require something. You require something to do that. You understand what I'm saying? So you require your auntie, and you require the material to be there, and you require your auntie as a cause to make the cake. Then science just observes something which is already there. So science can observe and explain how the universe functions, but it cannot tell us where the universe came from or the material of the universe. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
I see where you're coming from. That's why I don't know, because I don't think that everything is just like because it is. Like I believe there's a reason, but I don't know what that reason is.
Excellent. So we say if you look at the universe, through the universe you can know. Like as I said to you, you need something with a human intelligence to make this table. Animals cannot have enough intelligence to bring language and words together and plastic, right? So you assume something about the maker already without meeting him. You assume he's intelligent, he's a human being, right? A combined X, Y, and Z. When I look at the universe, I have to assume that whatever created the universe cannot be a human being. Because you and me don't have the power to create a universe. You agree?
So God is not a human being.
In Islamic belief, Allah is not a man or a woman, is not an idol, is not a picture, is an entity, and we don't get. If I said to you, think about a color that does not resemble any color in existence, can you do that? No, because you have not experienced it. Allah, we have not experienced Allah. So we cannot understand how Allah is, but we realize it's something magnificent beyond our comprehension as human beings. You understand what I'm saying so far?
A-level philosophy.
Philosophy, okay?
And so a lot of what you're saying, like I'm thinking like, oh, there's reasons, like you can't prove prove it, so you don't know if it's knowledge, you don't know if it's real.
You know what you're saying is excellent. You know why? Because what you're saying right now is so important for me. Because a lot of people, I would say, in the Muslim community, they do not understand the harm effects of philosophy. Right? The Western philosophy I'm talking about. Western philosophy installs within you something which we call doubt. It installs with you this idea that nothing is certain.
Nothing is real.
Nothing is, yeah. And that leads you to just contradictions. Because in reality, in order for us to live, we need to have certain things as assumptions. Like we have to assume we exist. The universe is in existence, right? The universe is consistent. Everything will continue to be the way it is. In order for science to work, we have to assume the sun will rise and it will set. You get the point? So these are assumptions that you need. This basic kind of knowledge. If you don't have as a human being, you cannot function. Even in philosophy, there's assumptions. Like the laws of contradiction, for example, that two contradicting things cannot exist. All of these issues are assumptions. We say as human beings, Quran leads you to certainty. Right?
Yeah.
If you are certain you're existing, you're here, you have to also be certain that there is a creator. Right? Because if I'm here, I didn't create myself, I cannot come from nothing. There has to be something outside of myself and the universe that brought us into existence, right? Yeah. How do we know that this is God? As I said, by looking at the universe. So if the universe is like a lollipop, then I'm not going to say God made it because anyone can make a lollipop. But the universe, because it's so complex, so vast, has so much design within it, you'd say that it has to be something with these characteristics, right? My advice for people is to stay away from philosophy. That's why I would advise people.
I regret it.
Yeah, I understand.
It makes life complicated.
Do you know why people study it? They think they're intellectual and smart. When you say to someone, would you agree with me? Right. When you're standing in front of the people, someone says, I study philosophy. Oh, that's amazing.
I don't understand it myself. So
yes.
I can't say that I'm intellectual and smart.
Yes. I'm sure you are intellectual, but I'm saying you are intellectual without philosophy.
Yeah.
That's the point we're trying to make. You know the Quran, when you read it, a baby can understand it, and a farmer can understand it, and a professor can understand it. So Allah is sending guidance for everyone. Allah is not sending philosophical, very deep language that only you need a professor to understand. How can it be for everyone then? You understand?
Yeah.
So what we say is, my personal definition of philosophy, just people, as I said to you, trying to act smart, using terms they don't understand.
You know what? I understand that because
Yes.
I don't understand it as I learn it. I don't understand it. So
Absolutely. Look,
I agree with you.
I'll tell you, the philosophers themselves don't understand. Look,
Yeah, they just speak.
Yeah.
They just speak with
You know,
nothing to it.
even-
And then, like, when it comes around to it, like, they doubt their own selves. Like, they put forward a theory and then put forward a theory against their theory. So they don't even understand what they're saying.
and they keep going in a circle,
Yeah.
and nothing is ever certain. Do you agree? That's why Allah says to us, this book here, says this is the book about which, look, I'll show you the beginning of the Quran. Says something beautiful. Look. This is the beginning of the Quran, yeah? So we have chapter 1, which is very small, and then we have the biggest chapter, chapter 2, which is the real beginning, you can say, you know? Now, if you see here, this is the book about which there is no doubt. A guidance for those who are conscious of Allah. Those who believe in the unseen, establish prayer, and spend out of what we provided for them. Those who believe in what was revealed to you and what was revealed before you, and they are of the hereafter certain. So the Quran here is saying few things. First, this book has no doubt. So I don't need to go in a circle around myself, right? Second thing, it says that the afterlife, this book is for those who are certain of the afterlife. I've not seen the afterlife, right?
So you just believe in, like,
I accept its existence. I don't like to use the word belief. I'll tell you why. Because in the West, people think belief means to accept something without evidence. Correct? That's what people, he just believes it. No, we don't believe that. We say that belief, in our perspective, is something that is based on evidence as well. But once I reach a sufficient level of evidence, I don't go around myself again as a circle and start questioning it. Do you get the point? I accept the assumptions. And no one actually applies philosophy in their life.
Yeah.
So if you do, like, if you doubt everything, you should doubt whether something can drop on top of you right now from the sky and you die, right? So you're not going to even exit your house. You doubt that maybe you catch some disease from this here or there. Do you get the point? People don't apply philosophy. It's just some idea in the brain that is wasting your time. You get the point? So what we say is, this Quran is guidance. There is evidences for it being from God. For example, Prophet Mohammed, the Prophet and the Messenger that brought the Quran 1,400 years ago, that Messenger of God could not read or write. Prophet Muhammad. You know, in Mecca, there was very barely anyone who could read or write. You know, they were illiterate people. And in Mecca, they had no telescopes, no microscopes, no scientific equipment. Imagine yourself in a Bedouin country, just camels around you and a tent, right? Now, what kind of information would he have in his mind 1,400 years? Just basic superstition. You know, so like people believe that his horse is pulling the sun and there is a ball holding the earth. The Hindus used to believe that, you know? Superstitious beliefs, right? But look at the Quran and compare it to the reality today. You see that Prophet Muhammad 1,400 years ago is talking about things that we're observing today with our own eyes. Like we realize the universe is expanding. You know, the Hubble telescope, this mega telescope, in the late 1900s, we realized that the universe is expanding. The galaxies are moving away from each other. The fabric of space is shifting. It's called redshifting. It's shifting away and it's stretching. And that can only happen if the universe is expanding. So they said, you know what, the universe is expanding, and they got the Nobel Prize. But the Quran is mentioning that 1,400 years ago. The Quran is saying we created these heavens with power, and we are expanding it. Why is that important? Because if I made something, I know about it more than anyone else. So if this is from God, then God will tell us about the reality, and He knows about it more than anyone else. Do you agree? So Allah told us the universe is expanding. Quran talks about embryology. You know, the baby in the mother's womb, developing from stage by stage until it becomes a baby. Professor Keith Moore is a Christian. He's an embryologist. He said this book has to be from God. He has a microscope and he's looking at the process, and he sees the Quran is describing the same process 1,400 years ago. He says this book has to be from God. Prophet Muhammad has to be a prophet, you know? Even though he's a Christian and he died as a Christian, but he admitted that this has to be from the Creator, right? Quran talks about biological life and how everything is created from cells and how cells are 60 to 70% water. The Quran says every living thing is made from water. So Allah is telling us.
Yeah.
You want to say something? Yeah.
That's right. I get it. I get it.
So do you understand why we say it's not just we say that it's just blind faith?
Yeah.
We say there are evidences.
Evidence, yeah.
Yes, we have evidences. That's one type, by the way.
You told me a lot, and I believe it's true.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that came from.
Yeah, and all of that is here, right? So if you open the Quran, like chapter 21, verse 30, look, I'll give you an example of what I was saying, you know? And while you're reading the Quran, you will see already that what I'm telling you is there, you know? Look. Have those who disbelieved not considered that the heavens and the earth were joined as one entity, and we separated them? And then we created from water every living thing. Will they not believe? It's a question for you, you know? Okay. So the Quran is mentioning water here, creating everything living from water. It can show you also embryology and all of that. So these are information within the Quran that shows it's from God. But not only that, Prophet Muhammad predicted the future. Like, you know, today me and you are living in this society. Prophet Muhammad predicted what's going to happen in it. For example, where's the tallest building in the world today? You know, it's in Dubai. You know Burj Khalifa? Have you heard of Burj Khalifa in Dubai? Yes.
I thought it was the Taj Mahal.
No. But the tallest
That's
building.
one of them, right?
Yeah, no. It's I don't think it's tallest. It's one of the sites, the scenes for culture and things like that. But it's not the tallest. So Burj Khalifa is 860 meters or something like that. It's the tallest one. So Prophet Muhammad said, you will see the barefoot Bedouin Arabs competing in building the tallest buildings. So he said about the Bedouin Arabs 1,400 years ago. You know, Dubai 50 years was a desert.
Yeah.
50 years ago.
And some of it, most of it still is.
Yes. Do you know what the parts that changed? Why did they change? They found oil. They found oil.
They sold it. We got rich.
Yes. Prophet Muhammad said 1,400 years ago, the earth will be its treasures, and money will become abundant within you, Arabs. Could he have known that? Could he have possibly known? You know, even oil was not of value in the past.
Yeah.
Today, because of all of this technology, it's of value. Prophet Muhammad named the countries that Islam was spread to. He said Islam was spread to Egypt, Islam was spread to Pakistan, India, Islam was spread to Jordan, Yemen, Islam was spread to Syria, Islam was spread to Turkey, Constantinople. He named the countries. And he said to the Arabs, you will overcome the Roman and Persian Empire. My question to you, what's your name, by the way?
Amy.
Would you say to me, Amy, that a human being who's not a messenger of God could have known these issues? Especially someone who couldn't read or write 1,400 years. Impossible, right?
Yeah.
So based on that, what we do is we hold certainty that this book has to be from God. That Prophet Muhammad is a messenger of God. And the information within this book is certain as well. Because I've proved the book is from God, therefore the information within the book is also from God, as long as it's preserved. And this is the thing about the Quran. It's completely preserved from A to Z. You know, Muslims memorize the full book. In Ramadan, which just a few months, 1 or 2 months ago, right? In Ramadan, we recite the whole Quran for from memory. In the mosque, if you go to any mosque, they pray, they recite the whole Quran. Yeah, that's good. That's excellent. So let me ask you this, Amy. Based on what I said, what is stopping you from accepting Islam? What is stopping you from taking that step and joining? And leave the philosophy nonsense of doubt and this and that. What is really stopping you now?
Maybe this is like a Western, like Christian kind of like belief, like God is supposed to protect you and like stop evil from getting to you, right? Or at least help you through it. I've been through a lot in my life, and I just think that if God, Allah, anyone was real, I would have at least like got some comfort.
I understand what you're saying. So this something in philosophy they talk about, they call the problem of evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say because there's evil in the world.
Christianity as well. It's like to disprove God, there's evil in the world. God isn't all loving, all powerful.
Well, I'll tell you something, Amy. I'll tell you something interesting. Yeah. We would say even if there is evil in the world, I will explain your point, but I want to say something before. Even if there was evil in the world, how does evil alone disprove the existence of a higher power? Let's assume.
But if the higher power is supposed to be all of these things, then the higher power.
I agree. It might debunk in a way a higher power that is all merciful or this or that. You get the point? But it does not deny existence of a higher power, right? So now let me answer from our perspective what we believe as Muslims. We say that Allah created us in this life for a reason. He's given us the Quran as a guidance. The Quran has morality, so it has the right and the wrong in the world. This life is then a test, whether you will choose to do good or you will choose to do evil. Now, in order for me to punish you, should I give you the choice to do good and evil or no? In order for me to test you, if I want to test you, Amy, should I give you two choices or can I give? If I give you one choice, is that a test?
It's not a test.
Yes. Yeah. So I have to give you two choices, right? And if Allah punishes, Allah says in the Quran, if we were to punish those who do evil.
I've done anything wrong.
No, not you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying those who do evil.
Yeah.
Allah is saying if we were to punish those who did evil before them doing the evil, then they would say we haven't done anything wrong. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
You see, if you were only sending us the messenger, we would do good. Do you get the point? So Allah is saying you have to allow them to also take the actions of doing good and evil in order for Allah to test them. So if this life is a test, Amy, if this life is a test, then you should have the choice to do good and evil. Do you agree? Right? So even you can do good, I can do good, but there will be people who will do evil. There will be people who will fail the test, and there will be people who succeed in the test, right? So there has to be evil in the world. There has to be evil. In order for you and me to know what is good, we need to experience evil. Now imagine there was only evil in the world. Can you know what good is? No, right? So in order for you, do you see the point, right?
Yeah, very good point.
So if we go to paradise, sister, in order for me to evaluate paradise and be happy, I need to understand first what suffering is, what bad is, so I can appreciate the blessing of being paradise. You know, we're born with certain privileges. To expound on that example, we are born with privileges, me and you. We're born with a house, we're born with family, we're born with food in the fridge. We take these things for advantage. Do you agree? Because we had them from the beginning. If you always had good from the beginning, you will take it for advantage. But when Allah tests you and He gives you a little bit of difficulty, you appreciate the good things that He's given you as well. So Allah is saying in the Quran, makes sense, right? So Allah is saying in the Quran that He tests you with good and evil to see whether you will be thankful or not, right?
Yeah.
So Allah tests us in this life, and so we can come back to Him. If my life was always perfect, I'm never going to go to Allah and say thank you for giving me this and that, or call upon Him, help me when I'm in a bad situation. People remember God when they're in difficult situations. You get the point? So Allah sometimes makes that situation for you to remember. Sometimes Allah makes a difficulty in your life to raise your level in paradise, to remove the sins that you did. So we might do evil, so Allah gives us something hard in this life to take away the sins that we did. So the wife of the Prophet, she said, even the pinch that you have from, you see, small pinch, it moves from your sins. So Allah moves away the punishment. He doesn't punish you. He gives you these things in the life in order for you not to be punished in the afterlife. So does that make sense and answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that is stopping you from being Muslim? If not, then you should take the step, you know?
I've never thought about it. I wasn't raised religious, any religion. I've never thought about it because I've been around people of different religions. I respect it, but it's never been something that's ingrained in my personal culture.
So you've been around the people, but you didn't think of taking that choice of becoming Muslim, right? Do you know what?
I was never surrounded. I was surrounded by people with their individual people with their individual beliefs.
Yes.
And I'm an individual person with my individual beliefs. And so I don't think it like would cross over onto me. And it's not really like a conversation. It's not really a
I understand. So everyone says just my opinion and that's it, right? Subjective views, right? We say the Quran is objective because it's from God, right? It unites the people. You and me and everyone. If we follow the Quran, we're following the same thing. You're not following me, and I'm not following you. We're both following the creator of the universe. If I make this phone, then I know about the phone the most, right? No one knows more about this phone more than me. So I give you a manual. Don't do this with it or do this with it. So it would make sense that the creator knows about me and you more than anyone else. That's why the Quran has the morality. But without that, you only have subjective morality, right? You don't have morality in reality. Just what you want to do, you just do. And what you want to leave, you leave, right? But Islam brings to us the objective morality. It unites the people with objectivity, right? So right now, do you know what a Muslim is? A Muslim is someone who believes there is a creator. That creator is not a man or a woman, right? Creator created everything, does not. As I was telling you, all-powerful, created the world, is merciful, is wise, right? And he sends messengers like Jesus, Moses, Noah, Abraham, and these people. They bring revelation from God. And Prophet Mohammed is the last messenger who was sent to us, and he brought the Quran for us as a message. If someone believes in these two basic things, then that person believes what a Muslim believes. So if you were to think after what I told you, it would make sense that Prophet Muhammad is the messenger, as you said, Allah is the creator, created the world, then in essence, in your heart, you believe what a Muslim believes. You get the point, right? But if you testify, then you officially become a Muslim. You officially enter the faith of Islam, right? And then there are practices that you take here step by step. Because a lot of people, they think, okay, well, I'm going to tell my family, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. We usually say, keep it for yourself in the beginning, right? Become Muslim, read the Quran, think about things step by step. Any questions, you can come here any day, no problem. Come next week, I'm here. Yeah, as well. Yeah, I can talk to him as well. And we're happy to answer any questions. Yeah, he told me. So any questions you have, anything you want to ask, you can ask, and then we can answer you, right? So I was not saying him because some people are specialized in certain fields. Like for example,
You're just like general.
sorry?
You say it as a whole.
Yes. So I'm saying the best thing is if you have religious questions, to go to someone who studied religious discourse and comparative religions, right?
So you like study. Like,
Yeah. I'm not.
There's people in Oxford Street that just preach the Bible.
Yes.
You're not like that.
No, I would say I did a lot of self-study as well, right? I went to university for Islamic studies, but I also did a lot of self-studies. Like we didn't learn the Bible in university and other religions. I had to do my own self-studies on that, right? But the point is, I engage with people. I deal with common questions that people come with. Someone who's just a lay person, you wouldn't go to him for a heart operation. Do you get the point? Because he didn't study it. So we say that religion is the same. You need to go to the people who are specialized, who know. So I said you can come anytime. We're here is a free space, public space. You can ask anything you want, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying after a person becomes a Muslim, then he reads the Quran, you take a step by step. I will connect you with sisters. They can teach you how to pray and everything you need to know. And then take it a step by step. You don't need to change anything in your life in the beginning. Just learn about Islam, learn about the Quran, learn about how to pray. And gradually, a step by step, you'll understand how it influences your life, right? So if it makes sense to you, you should become Muslim then. You want to do it?
You're making commitment. I don't know.
Think about it.
Yeah.
I want it to be your choice, right? Usually I ask the people, do you want to
But,
accept?
like, even if I didn't, I like to study it because I like to have an understanding of what other people think.
Absolutely.
You can't just be an ignorant person.
Yes.
Like, this person thinks this, I don't know why they think that. I
Yes.
don't care that they
Yes,
think that.
yes.
So I'm going to move on with my life.
You don't
I
know.
think that, so I don't care.
Absolutely.
I don't like to be that
Absolutely. Being ignorant of other people, you're afraid of them sometimes as well. You don't know what these people be. You cannot have commonalities between you and them. It's always good to learn about things around you, right? I want it to come from you as a choice. Even if it doesn't come today, it comes tomorrow, it comes next year, it doesn't matter. I don't want you to feel pressure that someone wants you to do something. But I'm saying if it makes sense to you,
Look into it.
yes, look into it. Look into it more, read more. And when you feel like, okay, this is from the creator, take that step, you know, and no one is going to stop you. We'll be more than happy for you to do it, you know. Do you have any other questions? Because you did ask one question, no other questions, yeah? Okay, I'll give you the Quran then.